Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today we got for y'all mock draft 3.0. It's our third mock draft. I'm going to be odds. Austin's going to be evens. But man, how you feeling, bro? You know you just got back from your big trip.
Yeah, feeling good. It was nice to see the guys. So, feeling good. Little re-energized, ready to get to work.
Yeah, and since that time, there's been a lot of news. We actually dropped this, or we shot this maybe like an hour or two after the Russell Wilson, following with the Stephon Diggs news. We'll get into that. Really big implications given that both of those teams picked 3 and 4 top five drafting teams. So, this shakes up a little bit, but we'll get into all that. We'll get into all that. But once again, I'm the Titans right now. Starting with the first pick, nothing changes. Going Cam Ward. They looked happy the other day at Cam Ward's pro day, kind of feeling them out a little bit in good spirits and whatnot.
Well, they had their own Titans broadcast there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had their own Titans broadcast there, but they basically without alluding to it, were alluding to this is going to be our guy unless he just has a manic attack episode right here on the football field. So they did that, and then today they had their own private workout with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're pretty much zeroing in, which obviously, you know, we're at that process in the draft. So right now, yeah, that's what it's looking like. Cam Ward going number one. I got number two. So, right now it's either uh
Keep in mind, this is what you think is going to happen based off everything. Yeah, what we
yeah,
think is going to happen based off just the feel and the vibe, and
right.
also what's most valued in the draft, the
Yeah.
current situation. So
Like I've always
reports.
I've always kind of had this pitch that like they're saying all these negative things about Shador Sanders, but none of it came out of the camps that it needs to come out of. You know what I mean? The only three teams that matter that care about the opinion of Shador Sanders is Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, and the New York Giants. I haven't heard anything about the Giants not liking him, and I never heard anything about Cleveland not liking him. I think they got blessed right here, being able to have the second pick in a draft, have a decent, solid roster. Made a few mistakes that they're going to have to pay for in the past. Go ahead and draft the quarterback and hope for the best.
More like one big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, trickle down. But yeah, I mean, this is what you got to do, and he is a good fit in Kevin Stefanski's system. I'm not sure how much do you think Kevin Stefanski had to say so with the Deshaun Watson thing. Do you think the owner just went rogue, or
Um.
like, what do you think he was thinking?
So like now I'm speaking from when he was on the roster. When he was on the roster and it
Nah, nah,
wasn't
nah, nah, nah. On
wasn't
the
really going
roster
to.
before
Well, because
that.
I'm about to say, because Kevin Stefanski has kind of spoken out against Deshaun Watson a lot, and he, without throwing anybody under the bus, has basically alluded to the fact that this is what our brass and this is what you know our franchise as a whole has decided on. So this is the guy that we're going to trot out there. But if it was him, he would just outright say, yeah, nah, we're rocking with Deshaun. That's my guy. Like Pete Carroll, you think if you ask Pete Carroll if Geno Smith is starting, he's ever saying anything I just said? He's like, what do you mean, Geno? Yeah, Geno's starting. Hey, Russ is healthy. Hey, I don't care. Geno's, you know what I mean? Like Geno Smith is really his guy like that. And I don't think that you get that kind of vibe when you talk about Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Watson. But I feel as if the GM and also the owner are so desperate and hungry for a quarterback, they did what they felt like they needed to do a few years back.
I see. This was a big red flag when it was like reported that they were out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes at that time, and then he was on board once they gave him the fully guaranteed, unheard of major contracts. Like, bro, he didn't even want to go there until y'all sweeten the deal. This feels like it's not going to be worth it. It feels like it's going to blow up in your face. And you're the Cleveland Browns, so of course it blew up in your face.
Right. And then the same thing happened to the New York Jets less than a year and a half later. You know what I mean? Like just when there's just something about some of these teams that they just can't handle that finding the franchise QB situation.
Shit. Well, hopefully the Bears, because they've been one of those, but hopefully the Bears. But anyway, back to the draft. Number 3, my New York Giants. I had to take a little bit of a lay down. I did not want Russell Wilson, to be honest, but I get it. It is what it is. He's good with the deep ball. We re-signed Darius Slayton at, a pretty decent contract. Malik Neighbors, he should be thriving. And, it kind of reminds me of the Kirk Cousins situation without drafting Penix, where it's like, we've had Daniel Jones for 6 years. We're just going to make sure we have this position. Like, all right, Russell Wilson gets hurt because he did get hurt at a certain point with the Steelers. Then we have Jameis Winston. He brings the vibes. He brings the motivation. Cool. Now, if I'm the Giants and Shedeur Sanders is here, though, and you think he could be a franchise quarterback, I'd take him. Jameis Winston's pretty much a career backup at this point. And Russell Wilson, to me, is washed. To a lot of people, he's washed. But in this situation, that's just not the situation. And this move for Russell Wilson feels like they have an inkling that Shedeur's not going to be there. So the way this draft is going right now is kind of perfect with the recent news. And for that reason, we're taking Travis Hunter. Now, although I didn't want Russell Wilson, it was always like a win-win to me. If Shedeur wasn't there, Cam Ward wasn't there, we have the unicorn. Cool. It was kind of a win-win. I would have preferred the quarterback, but to me, you get 2 positions in one. I do think he'll be able to play it at the next level, and this is the pit. Can't be too mad at it.
Nah, I mean, it's like you said, it's unfortunate, the quarterback situation, but I mean, that's why it's the hardest position to be filled. There's every quarterback draft, there's more times than not, they're bust. There's maybe, if you get lucky, you get 1 to 2 quarterbacks any given year. Sometimes you do get, some of those unicorn drafts where you get about 4 or 5 guys, whatever it was last year. But if you mean to tell me that we got 4 or 5 solid guys last year, then the next batch might be a little shaky. And again, like, that's why I don't know if you remember, but when we first had this conversation where you still had the right to fight for Shedeur, because you didn't have nobody on the football team. You really didn't. My whole thing was, if he's good enough to go 3, then he's good enough to go 2. And it's like that's just kind of one of those things that you can't play with this position like that. And why I'm so thrown off about the hate on Shedeur is like, this got to be a play on making Cleveland just be off of him because they think the rest of the world's off of him, and y'all still take him at 3 because I'm not following.
You're not getting it. And here's the funny part to me, because think about it like this, right? I have Giants fans. I just like you don't like your fan base. I don't like my fan base. My fan base pisses me off. But in terms of how they feel about Shedeur, it's like they think he's just so not worth. Like, we shouldn't pick him up.
And that might be true.
It can be. It can be.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if everybody's really feeling that way, either this is a crazy smear job, kind of like the CJ Stroud situation.
That was nasty. And nobody talks about
it. Right.
We don't get into that.
Yeah.
That was nasty. About his Wonderlick.
Well, you remember who was getting prepped up real crazy? It was Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah.
And he was at one point he was supposed to go 1, he was supposed to go 2. Then he drops, and the team that was supposed to select him, if they were hoping that he fell, they passed on him. They're like, yeah, bro, we're good. And they got him. They spent the block and got him with their 2nd round pick. But I mean,
great value, great move. Like, imagine if they got him in the 1st, then
or is it great, or does it matter? Because they picking a quarterback right now. You know what I mean?
It's better than picking them in the first round, though. So
I mean, I agree. I agree with that. But like, it's one or the other. It's like either this cat can't play football, he's not going to be a franchise quarterback, or he's going to like it's just like there's no such thing as a happy medium in this shit, unless again Cleveland gets cute and they get cute for whatever reason. And again, that happens. I think the media did their job. That little mold that y'all had in the media, making them fall, making them not sound sexy, so that y'all get them at 2. They did good work. Send them the check.
yeah, but just to like finish my point though, it's like with my fan base, with the Giants fans, it's like, bro, if Daniel Jones went at 6 and the Raiders were assuming he's not going to be there at 6, would have took him at 6, how can you be that, you know what I mean? Like, after having him for 6 years, after having Daniel Jones since Trump's first administration, bro. I just, whatever.
I mean, like I said, bro, the quarterback position is hard. That shit is hard. It's hard to, like, you know, and even free agency as a whole, hopefully fan bases can kind of get a general understanding of it now.
No, they have no idea, bro. They have no idea.
But yeah, like I mean, back even in the free agency, since you know you guys have apparently done y'all's contingency plan on if a quarterback isn't able to fall to you, it looks like New England has done the same thing, and they got the contingency plan of Stephon Diggs if they aren't able to, you know, get Travis Hunter as a weapon for Drake May. So, you know, with that being said, I think they're like, damn, well, it would have been nice to have Travis Hunter, someone that could sell some jerseys for like the next 5 years. But, you know, at the same time, this is Mike Vrabel. He would love a pass rusher. And if it was probably like up to him and in his perfect world, it would be all defense in the first round of NFL drafts. So I think he's unfortunately Adol Carter falls into his lap. And that's
what do you mean, unfortunately?
I'm exaggerating. Like, oh no, we had to get Adol Carter. Like, which is ironic because remember when years we always do the hindsight 2020 thing. But I would always tell you that I don't think Micah wouldn't have went first in the draft. They knew if they could rush the passer.
Oh yeah, if you did a redraft, he's definitely on top 5 minimum.
Right,
minimum.
But he going after the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks still.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
And this is the same thing here. I think the quarterbacks and the offensive guys still go before him, but he's the first defensive player on the board, and I don't think that New England cares about it at all.
I gotcha. So this is pretty much where the draft starts. I imagine the top 4
picks. Think it starts at 3?
I think it starts at 4.
Okay.
I think it starts at 4 because I think it's any variation of these 4.
Okay. Right.
2 to 3 quarterback needy teams, and then it's like, all right, well, we missed out on them, and this is still we got an elite player, might be the best player in the draft, and it starts here with Jacksonville at 5. And with Jacksonville, this is going to be I don't think I've seen him mocked here, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility with Evan Ingram being gone. I'm going to go Tyler Warren. Mm-hmm. Now, with the Jags, Evan Ingram had a lot of production with Trevor Lawrence. You could tell the chemistry was really like that. And Trevor Lawrence was really comfortable having that security blanket. And I think you're able to maximize that ceiling of what you've seen out of Trevor Lawrence with Tyler Warren, which to me is a better prospect coming out. And he's younger, and you get to reset that contract.
But he ain't young. He's younger, but he ain't young.
Hey, man, COVID, we can't control COVID, bro. What do you want to do?
He's already 23.
Shit, and Evan Ingram is what?
I'm just saying the reason I love Brock Bowers so much last year.
Evan Ingram is 30, bro. So do you want to pay Evan Ingram, let him go to the Broncos, and then get a better player, a younger player that you don't have to pay? Shit, because Brian Thomas, beast. Love Brian Thomas. But you need more weapons. Lost Christian Kirk. Running options aren't the best.
Oh, they like Cole Strange, though. They got a tight end I forgot about. Yeah, they drafted him in like the second round. Like it's
not Cole Strange. You're mixing up names. Brenton Strange.
Brenton Strange.
Strange.
Yeah, I just remember
Strange doesn't stop you from. Yeah, but he don't stop you from kind of like the Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers situation. They got Michael Mayer in the second.
Really?
Second or third.
Yeah. All right. No, I feel about tight ends, so I stay away. Good for Tyler Warren, though. Shout out to him.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking about tight ends. You don't think this would be a good spot for him, or are you off Trevor Lawrence? Because that's what I was about to get to. Is they got him at the top of the second, bro. 35th overall, Michael Mayer. And they still went Brock Bowers with pick 13. So you saw what he was able to do, just like how there was a resurgence of, all right, running backs, they matter again. Tight ends, getting drafted this high, Kyle Pitts.
I think also now we got to they need to like tight ends. Like there was one of the scouts or whatever, the way that he ranks his tight ends, he ranks them now as like the top inline tight end and like the top quote unquote like pass catching joker Travis Kelce tight end.
Makes sense.
Because even though yes, in name they are tight ends, we know Brock Bowers, you know what I'm saying, they was running him like he was Cooper Kupp. And I think he's going to be.
He's still good. He was still good in the run game, though.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think he's going to be he's more George Kittle to me than he is Travis Kelce. Which again, you're not mad if you got George Kittle or Travis Kelce in their prime. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, but it is a different tight end. One guy is slotted out, kind of like a joker kind of thing. Doesn't gets in the way to block. The other guy is like literally an extra lineman ready to maul you. It's just kind of like Gronk, yeah. And again, if he is that guy, it's definitely valuable. I do think it's valuable, but just wanted to paint the picture of what kind of player he's projected to be in the NFL.
No, I got you. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Because to me, this pick as well, Tyler Warren at 5, it's like, all right, bro, no more excuses. I don't even remember what you looked like at Clemson. I understand you won that playoff game. Y'all came back against the Chargers, but I still don't know what I'm looking at.
Well,
are you like that or not? Are you? What are we? Shoot,
I'm looking at what the hell, Cleveland, and respectfully, y'all going through it. Shit. We got him. We got him for a deal. It's about to be $65 million a year for a QB.
So you think that Trevor Lawrence and the Tua deal, those are steal deals? Like,
yeah, because and here's my and the reason for this is because me personally, I don't put every single thing on the quarterback. I think the quarterback is part of the football team. He's part of the offense. And again, just like the person we saw win the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts is a good QB. Well, I'll go as far as to even say above average if some people want to call him that. But he's not nothing too crazy, nothing real special. But now defense is solid, O-line is good, running game is good. We're calling the right plays at the right time. He's saving us. He's helping us out. We helping him out. It's a team. It's cohesive.
And yeah, with Jalen Hurts, you can't forget what he does with his legs, though.
Well, Trevor Lawrence could do that too. What I'm trying to say is, if they build a good team around Trevor Lawrence, he'll be fine. If they do what they need to do and build a solid football team around him, not miss on first overall picks and picks in blue chip drafts and all of these things, because that ain't on Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like you can agree with that part, that aspect of it. That's not on him.
Yeah, that's not on him. So let me paint this picture for you. So they bring in Liam Cohen. You like that pickup?
Love it. Love it. He's gonna have a run game going crazy up there.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence is healthy, and let's say they have a good draft. It doesn't have to be Tyler Warren here at 5, but they just have a good draft again. Right, and you have Brian Thomas. I know you like Brian Thomas too.
The pick hits. You're just saying the pick hits, right?
The pick hits. Then they're not challenging for the division in, I'd say, a bottom 2, bottom 3 division, then what are we saying about this guy, Sunshine?
Well, again, because like, all right, so we're saying their defense is solid. The defense is above average, and they're getting them off the field.
Yeah, because if they hit on these draft picks, you have Josh Hines Allen there, you have Trevon Walker there. You know, they got some pieces on defense. And I mean, if you just you sprinkle a little bit more to the draft,
at that point, it would be the proof would be in the pudding. I'm not gonna like, but what
you would bet against that though.
Yeah, like I'm good. Like if I had Trevor Lawrence as even like if there was no Dak Prescott, he was gone, and like oh, Trevor Lawrence is the franchise quarterback now, whatever. It'd be the same conversations I'd be having. Okay. It's like I don't think that these guys need to be spectacular all world Pat Mahomes, but we need to put some shit around them. You know what I mean?
I mean, I agree with that. Agree with that.
Yeah, so like at the end, that's all I'm trying to say. When it comes to it's like what I was saying about Tua last year. Look, bro, it's easier to talk about how trash he is, but you don't know how bad the quarterbacks that we don't get to see on Sunday are at football.
Like, and you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that, Austin? You get a glimpse of the casual seeing that once a backup has to come in, and then the backup of the backup has to come in, but it kind of rolls off the shoulder after that. And
well, they like the backup. You gotta remember, everybody likes the backup.
No, I'm saying when the backup is being trash, when the backup is so trash where it's like, damn, it makes the starter we don't like look really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not even I'm not even trying to like when I'm talking about y'all, I'm not trying to bash what y'all are doing right now.
You're good.
But it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like fucking who else? Kind of Cleveland, because Deshaun Watson is hurt. Like they're looking around, scrambling, hoping that Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers having teams by the balls in 2025 is crazy, dog. But that's just the nature of the position. At 41 years old, there's still maybe 15 motherfuckers out there that can do it better than him.
Bro, think about it. Joe Flacco brought these niggas to the playoffs.
Right.
And I feel like he's about to have a job still by the end of free agency.
I mean, probably. But you know what I'm saying? Like this shit it's hard. I mean, I know we praise the stars and all that, but you got to get one that can just function with an offense, work with an offense, and build around them. Brian Thomas is a good place to start. You know what I mean? Maybe get
Tyler Warren too. Sure.
But if that's how you want to play it, get Tyler Warren too. And because, like I just said,
so I sold you on the pick. You like the pick. You like the pick of 5. You got your boy Trevor Lawrence or Brian Thomas. It's up. I'm up in that division. Yeah.
I'm with whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because again, Liam Cohen, I saw what he did when he picked up Graham Barton for them and Bucky Irvin, and he started to make it shake. So I'm sure he could do something with Tyler Warren. You know what I mean?
I got to get Bucky Irvin. Okay.
Yeah, right. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like the Jaguars could revamp their entire running back position in this draft. Not even selecting one with this pick, you know what I mean? But like they can get one in the 3rd and get another one in the 5th and kick Etienne and Bigsby out to the curb and run it. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. By the way, Etienne brother in this draft, what's his name? Trevor?
Yeah.
Trevor Etienne. He's in this draft. Yeah. I mean, it's a bad time for him to come out with how deep the position is right now for the draft. But pick 6, bro.
Pick six. The human pinball machine. You know, human joystick. No Diddy. Genty. You know, I don't know if y'all the people that listen to this probably don't know. Remember Maurice Jones-Drew, but it's like this cat is like Maurice Jones, like the modern day version of Maurice Jones-Drew, and it's just crazy how he breaks tackles, and it's the wildest thing to watch. And Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, one thing that they do is they run it. They run it for almost 30, 40 decades. They've been doing this. And they've been running the football, so they don't mind getting a runner, and they already secured their quarterback. So I can see them picking up Genty here, and Yeah, we rolling with Brock Bowers, Genty, and Gino, with a little bit of Jacoby on the outside.
Yo, you know what this makes me think of, bro? This kind of feels like what the Falcons were trying to do, but a better version of it, kind of.
The Falcons tried. They be trying. It just doesn't work out for them sometimes. But it's like they be trying. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get it. You know, that's the thing about the draft too. It's like I saw what you were trying to do there, but you know, it's just
the personnel. Hey, maybe they need like a Tom Brady in the building to help out with some of the selections and whatnot.
Yeah. And I mean sometimes it just need to fall your way. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just doesn't work out. But yeah, I mean I don't hate what Oakland's doing there, and you know, we'll see. I'm like, again, I probably don't believe as much in them as much as the franchise do, but I think that they believe in Oakland. Like I think they for sure are like, yo,
it's Vegas now, bro. Showing your age.
Oh yeah, Vegas. Yeah, they definitely think they could do something out there in Vegas.
All right, that's a bet. Yeah, Ashton Genty. If you're a Raiders fan, you're probably getting tired of this. Get used to it. And if you're a Raiders fan, you're happy, and maybe you're a little bit worried that the Patriots might take them now, depending on what happens. But I think you're pretty safe there. With the Jets, just brought in Justin Fields, you know, getting off the Aaron Rodgers situation. Aaron Glenn there now, an adult in the room. Well, not saying Robert Saleh wasn't an adult, but he's laying down the hammer when it came to the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, how they want to conduct their business. And I think as the defensive mind he is, I think this is a perfect spot for Mason Graham. You pair him with Quinnen Williams in the middle, and you just wreak havoc through there. And, you know, you make defense, you know, you put a flag down on defense. I think he's a perfect fit right here. I think they're happy right here. I wouldn't be surprised, too, if after the first year of these rookies, like we go into 2026, best defender, you know, defensive rookie of the year potential, in my opinion.
All right, we'll see. So where we at now? We're at the
so pick 8.
Yeah. So for the Panthers, again, it seems as if their brass has been pretty heavy on considering defense, which is position. A lot of times connecting Mikael Williams and Jalen Walker, the Georgia defensive players, to him. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that they go ahead and draft Mikael. Is that his name? Mikael Walker?
Mikael Williams.
Mikael Williams. Yeah. Jalen Walker.
Both in Georgia.
He's funny. He wore number 11. The guys now, the linebackers in college now, it's all over the place. They wear number 11. And but yeah, he's their hybrid linebacker, pass rusher. For real, even look in this draft, and that go to all the schools. They were.
I mean, hey, bro, that's what's his name? Fucking Abdul Carter's number. So I mean, it's just you got to remember, like we were a part of y'all getting Micah Parsons, so it hits different with Kadarius Toney not having a team.
Well, you know, it goes back to you got to hit on these picks. But yeah, I think they go Mikael Williams here, versatile player, can play off the edge, can play inside linebacker. So probably maybe one of those people that go ahead and play linebacker for a second down, and then pass rushing situations, goes ahead, pins his ears back, tries to generate the pass rush for him since they donated Brian Burns to you guys last year.
It's a great donation. I think he's gonna be great this year. All right, so for the Saints, I really hate picking for the Saints. So here's my logic with the Saints. Derek Carr and Spencer Rattler aren't your long-term options, right? I say you build up through the draft, the trenches for your future franchise quarterback. That goes for offense and defense, obviously offensive line for the quarterback. But I would stack up this line. The line's not the greatest, not the worst, but I mean everything about this team is pretty mid. So for them, I'm gonna go Membu here. I'm gonna go Membu.
Membu.
Yeah. So I think they should do. I was thinking Tech just because, Chris Olave with the concussions, Rashid Shaheed has his injury concerns. They re-signed Jawan Johnson for a decent deal, but how many weapons do you really have there? But I feel like these receivers are going to fall a bit, and you're picking a 9, you might be able to scoop up a steal or trade up in second.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So this is where the draft starts to get fun here. Now, we've had a lot of offensive players come off the board. I think what Chicago did was position themselves to kind of, not pigeonhole themselves into drafting a particular position, but best player on the board. I think that because they are, they just picked up Joe Tooney and a few other offensive linemen in free agency. I think they go to the opposite side of the ball, and I think right here is where they probably get a player like Malachi Starks, where I could see him going. Versatile player. This is Ben Johnson, who just had to play. Was just coaching Brian Branch just last year and the year before that. He sees what those guys can do for your defense, whether it be on the back end, playing deep, in the slot, in the box. So I just think he's one of these safeties that can really, really change around a defense. And, start there. Got a few pass rushers. Think Sweat's still on their team. Just go ahead and have them roam around, make some plays.
See, this is why I like that we don't pre-build this draft, just because we haven't done this in 2 weeks. Pick your brain. That comes as a surprise. When Malachi starts, I mean, he's paying the safety tax, kind of like how tight ends, running back pay that tax. Right. There's that safety tax in terms of overall draft value. But man, this is one of the top players in the draft, and I think people are getting sexy with the Emenwariye kid. I like him too, but I feel like it's more we've heard so much about Malachi Starks.
Me personally, I would pick Jahdae Barron, but I don't think that they're a fan of his measurables. Remember, I told you he's like Tyrann Mathieu. But even though Tyrann Mathieu, all pro, been a dog for almost 15 years, but it's just they don't like that player size. He can do whatever, he can do everything on the football field. Some of these teams just, they don't prefer it. They prefer the guy with his size. And I think Ben Johnson is probably a more forward-minded head coach. I still think, though, if he has his choice, he's going to pick the person that has the size. You know what I mean? So that's why I think Malachi Starks probably gets the edge, and I think he does well. I think he kills it. Just like Brian Branch killed it. And they always were like, "Yo, I don't know why he's dropping, but he ran a 4.6, and that's the kiss of death."
I feel that. Well, with the 49ers, here, the 49ers kind of gone through a retooling session, which I think this is what the smart teams do. We kind of just saw the Seahawks do that. Get rid of Geno, trade away DK, cut Tyler Lockett, and they're kind of revamping the organization. Saints, you could learn a little bit from this, swallow the pride, and do what you got to do. Clearly, the Brandon Ayuk situation rubbed them the wrong way, and they're kind of out of that business. You got to get the emotion out of the GMing, and we got to start rebuilding the trenches again. Trent Williams, he's it's crazy how great he is. It's the top 2 left tackle in the league still at his age, but that trade was so long ago that the Washington Redskins are called the Commanders now. And they have a franchise quarterback somehow, and they just went to the NFC Championship game. So he's not getting any younger. I'm going to go Will Campbell here. I'm going to go Will Campbell. His arms might be he might have to be a guard, but if there's a team that could get the most out of Will Campbell, I think it's Kyle Shanahan and the Niners.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I agree. With San Francisco, they kind of, they're in the same boat where, they can use best player available because you make the same argument that they could go defensive back also, especially after losing Chardavius Ward. So they actually,
if it wasn't Campbell, I was definitely going to go edge for him, to be honest.
yeah. So I'm actually interested to see who they end up selecting.
Yeah, that pick is going to be
at 11.
Yeah.
Dallas right now, we got a few rumblings. I think that there's something there with this what's his name, Marquise Golden?
Matthew Golden.
I do think there's something there with that. I'm perfect. Me personally, I hope we're just bullshitting and we're really.
So you're not a fan of Golden?
No, it's not that I'm not a fan of him. I like Tet, and I mean the reason that we got CeeDee Lamb was because he clocked like a 4.5. But I've never cared, ever. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that the Cowboys are kind of smoke screening this right now. Oh, everybody's hating on Tet. We're not going to say that we like him. And if you said that I could have Drake London to go with CeeDee Lamb, I would literally be like, yeah, sign me up for that. Also, I'm coming to find out, it costs about $25 million to have a B wide receiver. And they tried to pay Chris Godwin. New England tried to pay Chris Godwin $30 million, and he didn't even want to go there. So I think wide receiver is a very, very valuable pick in the first round because you're getting cheap labor for somebody who's got the potential to be your wide receiver too. You don't have to be my wide receiver one. I already have one of those. And if you're saying that it costs $25 million on the open market, if they even get there, because T. Higgins, we were talking about it for 2 years, never even got there. I think you got to go. I think you got to go wide receiver here at 12.
Yeah, I'm hoping for this not to happen. I would be so annoyed if this happened. Honestly, if I was picking evens, I'd have them go to the Panthers because I think that's who the Panthers should pick up. Because with Adam Thielen there, old reliable, I mean, PPR machine. Xavier Leggett, you're hoping he could take another leg up, but he doesn't seem like a true wide receiver one. He seems like a perfect wide receiver two. I feel like Tet would be perfect there with Carolina, with Bryce Young and how he took that uptick in his play. You could see it in his confidence. But this would be a steal for y'all.
Yeah. And again, only reason I'm saying this is because over the past few years, they've been kind of hush-hush, or they've been misdirection on where they want to go ever since Mike McCarthy was here. Now he's gone now, but hopefully we can keep that philosophy and we just bullshit and say we like Amarion Hampton, saying we like this guy, but in reality, we just want Tet to be there because that's the guy we actually really care about. But another thing that's kind of throwing me off is why I feel like a lot of these wide receivers are going to go higher than we expect, just because of the value of the position now. I don't know why you wouldn't want 4 to 5 years on the player and also if you got good ones, you're not getting rid of them.
But here's the thing, bro. I feel you. I wouldn't be surprised, but you got to realize too, there's a lot of good edges in this class. So I feel like edge might go quicker than we might think as well, which is still an extremely valuable position, if not the second or third. So I don't know. This draft is interesting, man. That's the biggest takeaway for me is that this draft.
I understand that. Like, I guess the whole bit right now with him is that he's not a number one, or there's no number one wide receivers. But like I've been telling you, that's not my problem. He's 6'6".
So if it was between Tet and Amarion Hampton, who would you pick for your team?
Tet.
If it was between Golden and Amarion Hampton, who would you pick for your team?
Golden. But I think Amarion Hampton should be on the bingo card. And if we do some like that could, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want Cowboy fans to be so shocked if that should happen. Just put it on the bingo card. I'm not saying that's the number one thing I want to happen, but just know it might, and just know he's not that bad of a player. We didn't, you know what I mean? It ain't the best, but it wasn't the best situation when we drafted Tyler Smith, and he was all pro by his second year in the league. So, you know.
Yeah, I got you. So with pick 13, if you're the Dolphins, if I'm the Dolphins, I was hoping that Membu was here. I was hoping Campbell was here, low key. But I think they need to address the secondary. I think they need to address the secondary. And you have your choice of that outside of Travis Hunter. And opposite of Jalen Ramsey, you lost a lot of pieces in your secondary. Your Jalen Ramsey, all-time corner, big fan of his game, getting older, but he's still your guy. But on the other side of him, your corner two is Storm Duck, undrafted free agent, not free agent, undrafted draft pick that you guys just had, and you need more than that. You need more than that in a division with Josh Allen and everything they're doing over there. The Patriots, Stephon Diggs, and whoever they pick up in the draft. So I'm gonna go Will Johnson here because I think his fall recently, like the negativity around his name, similar to Tet, similar to Will Campbell, is a little bit it's unwarranted. And I think the Dolphins are happy with this pick. I think they're running for this pick, and they have experience drafting a guy that didn't get to play their full last year with Jalen Phillips. That was obviously a devastating injury, and I'm glad he was able to work through that to the best of his ability and perform when he's on the field. But you have a situation here with Will Johnson where he was playing. He played half the season there at Michigan this past year. You have plenty of tape on him. I'm not sure why he didn't do all the offseason stuff, but maybe he thinks the tape speaks for itself. Get him there at 13.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's a good pick for them. I mean, at the end of the day, I told you, I was like, I just want to see him run. Like, I think he's a good cornerback. I just want to make sure you don't run no 4.6. You know what I mean? And we'll see. We'll see.
You saw where Xavier Restrepo. I mean, maybe that's why you don't want to run that joint.
Well,
that boy tweeting for the second time tonight.
Right. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? That there's do you remember Tease Tabar?
You said who?
Tease Tabar from Florida.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? He was clamps in college. He ran a 4.6. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do nothing in the league. And it's just like little stuff like that 4.6 as an outside cornerback, it does scare me a little bit. But you know what I mean? Nonetheless, he's never fallen out of this top 15. He's like, consensus board by scouts and all of that. He's never really fallen out of there. He's never dropped because he hasn't ran yet. So if I was him, I would try to get as far as possible without having to do it. But you know what I mean? But yeah, just for me personally, I like the player. Think that's a good pick. And for the Colts, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get Jahdae Barron. Again, similar to Malachi Starks, can do it all. He might even be able to do more. Outside, inside slot. Very, very valuable piece for the Indianapolis Colts there at 14.
Oh, okay. So you're going away from the kind of consensus pick. I like it though. I think this is a good spot for them. They got Chardavius Ward, but they still need some help in that secondary. He'd be good out the slot for them.
Yeah, and that's even better because it's like, all right, Tre'Davious Ward, you worry about the number one wide receiver, and then you can let the rookie take care of those responsibilities, or wide receiver 2, or the slot guy, or you know what I'm saying, or if you want him to roam. I mean, there's film of him guarding Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State.
Bama. Oh yeah.
So yeah, and I mean he can play outside. Now he was doing that one-on-one. So I like him a lot.
All right, for the Falcons here, I'm breaking y'all streak of straight offensive players in the first round. It's time to go defense. You're in a very, very winnable division. This is your time. Penix, usurp Kirk Cousins. Everything is gravy on offense. But time for y'all to get edge rusher, man. Have we gone edge yet? Oh yeah. Michael.
Well, Jalen Walker is considered an edge, or Mikael Williams, whatever.
Yeah. He is an edge. Yeah, but Jalen Walker, linebacker, considered edge for sure. I'm gonna go James Pierce here. Might prefer him to go to a team that has just kind of a more consistent structure foundation due to his character concerns in terms of, but we don't really know. I'm just going based off the talent, and the talent, he's like top 2, top 3 edge rusher in the class for me. So I'm gonna go James Pierce for him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, apparently his off the field issues or his antics are even worse than Micah's were. So that's the little bit that's coming out. But again, this is Lion season. So in order for him to fall to the Falcons, everybody in front of the Falcons got to think he's a terrible person. You know what I mean? So we'll see where he goes, and that's how we'll know the truth. Here, similar situation, Arizona. I did just think they need an influx of just juice on defense. I think they go D tackle here, and I think they go with the other Michigan defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant, 335 pounds, can help generate some pass rush up the middle and can help stop the run. I think this is a solid pick right here, and yeah.
Smooth. All right, so for the Bengals, still working on that Trey Hendrickson situation, that Trey Hendrickson deal. But you need pass rush. That way you're not like peering outside the playoffs and you're relying on week 18, and then you have the Chiefs sitting all their players and the Broncos making it instead of you. You need to make sure that Joe Burrow isn't throwing it 40 times a game. I think Mike Green would help out with this. Now, Mike Green has his own character concerns that are more tangible, more serious. I would say with James Pierce, it's just like maturity issues, unless you know anything more, because you're making it sound like they're worse. You said worse than Michael's.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously they didn't get it to, the allegations or whatever, but basically with James Pierce, it just seems like it might even be just his personality as a whole, even like he might just be a dickhead. So again, they didn't give anything up, but basically what was said and what was alluded to was that he's more of a like roughhouser than Micah and prankster and all this stuff, and we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that shit's probably easier to fly in college, but with Mike Green and sexual assault allegations from this, it's the reason why he's at Marshall.
And they said that was cleared though. Apparently that kind of checks out that,
But before Virginia, there was another situation. So it's kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right. It's like 2 times. Well, now you twice.
Yeah. So
I mean, again, football is weird, man. Football is a weird sport where there's certain things that we don't like. We don't like the guy that doesn't love football or he's too smart, and we can deal with certain things. So, I just again, when they like a player, they say glowing things about him, and when they don't like a player, they say whatever they feel. It's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for that, I could see Mike Green going in the top 10. I do think that might scare some teams off a little bit because it's like two separate situations at 2 different schools. I think one might have been a high school, whatever. Either way, it's allegations. The NFL has its issues with that, prior issues, but with Mike Green,
he still got selected in the first round. So, I say he still got drafted in the first round. So
Yeah. But yeah, you pair him with Trey Hendrickson, and that makes things easier on the secondary if you have the sack leader there with a guy with his talent and natural ability. So Mike Green's the pick.
All right. In Seattle, they're up. They just completely, gutted their entire offense. But I don't really think they care about that. They're just here to rebuild. And I think they go with Josh Simmons because he's one of the best offensive linemen in the draft. He was just injured. I think they get him, let him get healthy, and they have a stalwart left tackle for like the next 10, 15 years. Find a way to get another quarterback in there, get back to balling.
Yeah, these linemen are going in this draft with the Bucks. I think they're pretty blown about the corners going there. I think they need help in the secondary, but I think this is a good spot for Jod Campbell. Jod Campbell, with Levante David, you moved on from Devin White. You got him, or was the Jags? It's the Jags who got him originally, wasn't it? Devin White.
Devin White, who drafted him, or he's out the league now. So I know the Philadelphia picked him up, but like he was drafted by the Bucks.
Oh, so he was drafted by the Bucks. Yeah. So they drafted him at 5. I think you have a prospect here that could, do it all, Swiss Army knife, and you need help on that defense. So
I think he could be Fred Warner.
You think?
I think he's going to kill it. Yeah, I think he's going to kill it at linebacker. Like, they want him to blitz, do a little bit of blitzing too, but I don't even think he should do that. I think he should just be an inside linebacker, 3-down linebacker. Just kill.
Yeah, when it comes to these spots too, it's also we're at the playoff spot, right? So from Bucks down, your playoff teams, why did you get bounced out the playoffs? You gotta, think about that a bit. Definitely wasn't the offense. Bucks had I would say like a top 7, top 5 offense. So best player available, I think, is Jod Campbell. I think he helps out a lot on defense.
Yeah. And I'm on the clock for the Broncos, my second favorite team. And I think here, just building off the success that they had, Sean Payton and Bo Nix being I think that they've already invested in one pass catcher at tight end, and I could see them picking up this guy not only because he's a solid wide receiver, but it just seems like he fits perfectly for the type of coach Sean Payton is, the type of football player Bo Nix is, and I think he's going to add to the maturity that they're trying to build in that locker room. I think this is where Emeka Egbuka goes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and he's such a people don't realize how talented he is at football because he's played with 4 different talented wide receivers during his stint in college. So I just think that, that 4-year college experience, we know already Bo Nix had 5 years college experience. We know the kind of quarterback coach Sean Payton is. I just think this is the perfect slant boy type route runner, inside guy, can do a little bit on the outside, move him around, just dependable wide receiver that this team's going to be able to benefit from.
Damn, I thought you were going to go Luther Burden here. I felt like Luther Burden was perfect right here.
Yeah, see, and again, now they're saying the same thing because I'm projecting what I think they're going to do. Apparently, Luther Burden's falling. Apparently, he's falling.
Okay, I gotta look into that.
Yeah, because of some issues. But again, I don't know the issues. But
oh man, it's more character concern.
Yeah, because again, it's like because they have a quote unquote consensus board, and then everybody has their own board. But sometimes it's kind of like, yo, why is this person just out the blue falling out of everybody's consensus board? Like, what's going on here? And I think Luther Burden could be selected at 12. Like, he's not like he's no better or worse at wide receiver than the guys off the board, but apparently there's something there. So
definitely a different style of receiver. So I could see him being in. I think this is like where he's going to land, just based off team needs and things like that. But now I feel it. For here, I'm throwing a wrench into it. Still don't have a quarterback. Russell Wilson just went to my Giants. Don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe another darkness retreat. So I think if you're going to be the Steelers, you're going to keep winning enough games to make the playoffs and pick in the early 20s and mid 20s, maybe rattle off a playoff win or something like that. you might as well throw darts at quarterback. No pun intended. Getting Jackson Dart for y'all. 21. Either way, whether or not you get Aaron Rodgers or not, you're getting Jackson Dart here.
So, I think Will Howard is going to end up being a better quarterback than
Really?
yeah, and it makes sense why he would be too, because I'm like, all right, he been around pros, he's been around you know what I mean, and it's just kind of like all he needs to do is get the ball to the playmakers. And again, I didn't,
It's easier said than done, huh?
But when you've been doing it and you win a national championship, we showed that it's been done. And we showed that it's been done against Texas.
It's tough with teams like Ohio State where it's like, everything's so perfect around you.
But what I'm trying to understand is like I don't understand what people see between Jackson Dart that they don't see in Will Howard. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like what? Yeah, like it's like progressions. Like he was going.
I mean, he's more of an athlete. I think he's better under pressure.
You think so? I mean, all right. Hey, look, we'll see. But like, yeah, it's just Will Howard has a lot of things that like. All right, I could actually see you working in a team like Pittsburgh specifically too. Like I just think that he has a lot of that trick that, and he's from that area. He got that kind of grit to him and all that. Like I can see like they were trying to make it work with Kenny Pickett. It is like, bro, if y'all gonna try to make it work with Kenny Pickett, like or even if they didn't get Shador, like I could see somebody taking a foul on Will Howard in the second round and like maybe being serviceable. And the only reason I'm coming to this is because you know how crazy I was going on Bo Nix. I did not see it. But what I can say is that I see some Bo Nix and Will Howard's game.
Well, so the thing with the Broncos and the Bo Nix situation is you do have an offensive mind in Sean Payton. And the problem with the Steelers.
That's what I mean. So it's like if it's like, all right, maybe if the right QB molds him or he goes to a situation where he got a fuck ton of talent around him already.
DK Metcalf, George Pickens.
Right. You know what I mean? And it don't even have to be Pittsburgh, but it's like he could be the sneaky guy in this draft. I think. Like if there is
Will Howard. Okay,
yeah, I think if there is one, I don't know if there is, but I could see it.
We'll see who gets him in the fifth.
Right. So where we at? Chargers. So yeah, I mean, I think Chargers are having a party right now. I think they're going nuts. They probably can't believe this guy's still on the board, and they draft Calvin Bates Jr. all guard. Yeah. I think they're happy as hell. Kick him into right guard, kick him into left guard. They still got their bookends. And then if something happens and one of those guys get injured, try him out there, see if that works, and he'll be the swing tackle. Yeah, I think they're happy as hell. They love him some linemen too. So
shit. I think Chargers fans are pissed with this pick.
But they want something that's exciting. And guess what? They don't got an exciting head coach.
Nah, facts. In terms of what he would do, shit. Luther Burden, you got some character concerns. You out Matthew Golden, you're cool, but we'll find something in the second type shit.
Right.
I could definitely see that.
And the thing with Luther Burden is like he's playing in the slot, and they already got Ladd out there.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking Burden for them. I was thinking Golden or Loveland still on the board at tight end. Yeah. Harbaugh. But with the Packers, shit. Here, I'm not expecting Golden to be here, so I'm torn between two players right now. Shit. They just never do it. Maybe Josh Jacobs, his voice pushes them to do it. Christian Watson's been hurt, and you kind of go against the grain and do things you usually don't do. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you have to predict when a pattern ends. I'm going to just go Matthew Golden here. You have a need a receiver. This circle of friendship receiving group that you've been trying to trot out, it's not working. You need your guy. You're picking too high to just hope that the guy that you like falls in the second round. I think this is steal.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. So Minnesota's on the clock now. I know last year they took the best quote unquote one of the best pass rushers in the draft, and Dallas Turner, but he didn't really generate that much pop his first year. Definitely probably going to develop into a solid football player, but I don't think it stops them for adding another pass rusher. And I go ahead and they take, I can't say his name, Donovan Rockaroo.
Donovan Ezeraku.
Rockaroo. Yeah.
Ezeraku.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they go edge, or they could go Walter Nolan. I could see that, but actually not anymore because they paid Deron Payne.
Now, I mean, in the offseason, they definitely addressed that D line heavy for sure, but you can never have too many edge rushers.
Edge rushers, right? Yeah.
So, no, I'm with that pick. I'm with it. With the Texans, this was always going to be a spot for receiver for me until the Laramie Tunsil trade. So, to me, they must have their guy. Like, you got to have your guy. You got to have, like, one or two guys that you're expecting to be here.
Yeah.
To me, I think the safe pick right here is Josh Connerly Jr. I was thinking Gray Zabel. I think Gray Zabel is going to be more of a guard. Need a tackle. Go with the Oregon tackle.
I think it might be that guy from Minnesota. Apparently, he's like 6'6", 330 pounds. Right here.
Okay, Irsay.
Yeah. That's just a lot. Just a lot of body.
It's a lot of body, but you need the footwork.
And that's what I mean. That's what I'm like. I don't know. But, yeah, okay. So now we back at the Rams. Rams have made a few trades. Last year, though, they kind of they went defense, best player available on defense. That was obviously Jared Verse. Worked out for them. They had a solid D line, but I feel like they needed a little bit more ass, especially, it showed kind of in the playoff game where Saquon was just running between the A and B gap. So I think here is where Walter Nolan's slide stops. And I also like the pick because I think if we're talking about defensive talent, they want that type of player, and they'll just mold him into whatever they want him to be.
Damn. That's a young elite D line there with Brandon Fisk. You got Jared Verse, and now Walter Nolan. He was falling due to some character concerns, but I think that got cleared up a little bit. I think I saw some reports that his interviews went decent. So, all right, with the Ravens, a lot of options for them. When you're picking at this part of the draft, you're kind of going best player available.
Just chilling.
Yeah, you're cooling. For them, I think they could use some help at edge. I think this is like, if you're picking here, you should probably be attacking the trenches for the most part. And I think they go Shamar Stewart, who lacking in production, but it's kind of due to the team that he was on and how they used him and whatnot. I think you have a raw athletic talent.
See, now the over 4.5 sacks your entire career. Man, like you never was getting to the quarterback ever.
Man,
ever.
You gotta chill on him, bro. It's college.
No bro. Tackles for loss. Like tackle for loss is a big number. Like
I'm just letting you know, Shamar Stewart's going earlier than this. Most likely, he's going earlier than this.
This is theme in this draft, and the theme in this draft is that the players that are uber athletic lack production, and the players that are very productive lack the traits, the elite traits. So there's a there's a theme here where it's boom or bust.
It's definitely boom or bust, which is where I like him. It's kind of like a Greg Rousseau type pick,
Right. It's even with Greg Rousseau. It was like, damn, all his tackles, like I can see him getting busy, but all of his sacks are coming when he's playing zero tech. And we draft him to be a DN. But it's at the same time, though, still, Greg Rousseau literally had production, though. He had production. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like, all right, bro. Maybe Greg Russo wasn't getting to the numbers how we want him to get there, but he still found a way to get there. And I know he can maybe maybe work it out. I don't know if this cat's good at football.
Oh my God.
I don't know if he's good at the sport. You know what I mean? And that's where it gets shaky.
Hey man.
You gotta do something on the field. You don't gotta do everything. You don't gotta be Superman, but you gotta do something, even if it was a gimmick. Hey, let's run a stunt real quick so I get a sack, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, the way Texas A&M played, like if he was in a better situation that suited his talents, bro, the sack numbers wouldn't have been there. But I don't think he should go like much earlier than this. I just see him rising. I think people are chasing, like, I don't know, like
right.
that.
I mean, this is a Baltimore pick. They would draft you off your trades and they'll figure it out. But yeah, it's just that one I'm always have my eye on him. But let me get to Detroit here. You know, I think Detroit, they kind of, due to the injuries and everything, it kind of got bad for them. But what I could see is due to the fact that they still got Amon St. Brown, they still got Jameson. I could see them maybe going a little bit younger, getting a little bit younger on the offensive line, and drafting someone like with the versatile like position flex as Gary. What's his name? Gary Zeal.
Gray Zabel.
Yeah, Gray Zabel, and you know what I mean, just slotting them in, maybe having them play guard for right now, moving to the eventual center spot, something like that, and just keeping that offensive line intact.
You don't think they would go Jalen Walker? Jalen Walker, Derek Harmon.
I mean, they definitely need some help there on pass rush, but this is like you said, this is a deep pass rushing draft. So I think they go definitely get another D tackle in this draft, and I definitely think that they go ahead and try to see if they get some depth at linebacker. But you can get that stuff in the second and third round. I think, especially what we even saw.
And the tackles went on a run in the draft we're doing. Like, there's a lot of offensive linemen.
And it kind of goes back to what I'm saying when we were in free agency. Who was making the money? Who wasn't even available? No good guards really were available. And the ones that had potential, they made a significant amount of money. So it's like, all right, if I got to deal with a project and develop a guard, I might as well draft his ass, have that little bit of cheap labor for a few years, and then if he becomes something cool, I extend him. At least I know what I'm working with, and we just keep this thing following through.
No, it's not a bad pick. I mean, like I said, you're picking here, dress the trenches, offense or defense. So I'm with it. I think this is a good pick. I like Zabel. But for the commies now, they re-signed John Bates. He's more of a blocking tight end. Zach Ertz is back. He's singing praises for Jaden Daniels and what they think they can do. But I don't think they expected Colston Loveland to be here. And you add in Debo. What's good?
Hey, I would like to pick. I would like to pick.
This is what we're doing for sure. Colston Loveland here. Man, you got to do this. You add him with Terry McLaurin. Hopefully Debo can get back to form. He has the fire lit under him with how things went with the Niners. With the Niners, it seemed like they would have preferred to pay Brandon Ayuk and just cut Debo back then, and now they're doing the retooling now. Now you're there with Terry McLaurin. You're not like the top receiver, even though Brandon Ayuk was more of the down the field guy. But yeah, Loveland, man. Because I don't think he's going to be available, but if he is, I think they kind of scrapped their plans and he's high on their big board.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with that. I like that. It's like I just in that offense, we'll see. I mean, Zach Ertz, that's his name. He was doing his thing. Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. They're peppering him with targets, and that's a good tight end to learn under. So shit. Yeah. I'd be kind of annoyed if he's here. I could tell you'd be happy with the pick because you don't think it's that much of a plus multiplier, but
Yeah, again. I mean, obviously, Jaden Daniels did his thing, but there's a lot of weapons out there. Them trying to figure out that Joker wide receiver position. Go ahead and spend your time doing that. And hopefully, if it all works out, he has 4 years with Washington, and by the time he's really nice, he on another team. So,
best case scenario for his
right,
NFC Easters.
right. I mean, here, Buffalo just extended Josh Allen, but I think they go defense here, probably just going ahead and just taking from Philly's playbook, getting the Georgia guy that's available. They need depth at linebacker and that edge. So I think they try him out, try to make him a 2-down linebacker, and then use him off the edge, see how that works out. If he's better at one than the other, I think eventually he's just primarily a backer. Or if he actually is good with his feet down, with his hands down on the ground, I think he'll put on a few more pounds and just be a every down pass rusher.
So he's talking about Jalen Walker, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jalen Walker. Yeah. So.
All right, that's smooth. That's smooth. I mean, I think that's a steal of a pick for him, even though I think he's being a little bit overhyped right now with where he's being mocked in the top 10, top 15. So
I mean, they like him. There's been rumors that Dallas likes him, and we're like, please God, no. But there's that's a name. That's a name. Along with Hampton, they're like, yo, don't not have it on your bingo card.
I got you. Now, if you're the Chiefs, you're sick about this run on offensive linemen this entire first round. But you still got a pretty serviceable guy that I think is worth a first round pick, especially if you're picking here, damn near a second round pick, picking a 31 coming off the Super Bowl. You just traded Joe Tooney to the Bears. I think they go Donovan Jackson here.
See, now it's funny because they did this last year and it didn't work out for them. But I do think that this is that's all they can do. This is all you can do is just constantly take cracks at the most athletic offensive lineman on the board. And Donovan Jackson, he played guard, he played left guard, and then when Josh Simmons got hurt and was out for the season, he then converted over to left tackle, and he got whooped the first game, but he got whooped the first game because he was going up against Abdul Carter. And by the end of the season, I mean, he was a solid tackle. So, people thought he would enter the draft as a guard, but they're like, wait, no, this guy got film at tackle that we can use. So, yeah, I think he's the pick. And then again, Philadelphia, do what they always do. Best player available. Get rid of Milton Williams. He's about to give you probably a third or fourth round compensatory pick. You still got Jalen Carter there. And you probably got some other and Jordan Davis and probably another fat boy I'm not thinking about right now. Let's go ahead and add one with a little bit of pass rush to the party, and let's just do it again. I don't know what
Derek Harmon.
Yeah, Derek Harmon. And they say he's an edge, but really he plays deep tackles. But even worse if he can fucking start rushing off the edge.
No. They don't have him as edge, but I would be. I mean, with them, it's annoying. We're going to do a reaction to what our mock was going into this time last year, into the 2024 draft, where it's pick of the litter for him. If you saw where we had Quinyon Mitchell, if you saw where we had Cooper DeJean, and they just played cleanup in these first top 100 picks, and it's a very Eagles pick to replace Milton Williams with someone like Derek Harmon. So
why they still get a compensatory pick for Milton Williams?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it might be a third rounder because of how much he got paid. So
also got to look at who they scooped up and whatnot for the offsets or whatever. But
yeah, because they got to and then with that, it got to be someone who wasn't cut. It has to be someone who was a free agent also. That's something that compensatory picks is something I had to study as a Cowboy fan. Competency, what's it called?
I think you had it right. Compensatory. You fucking me up. You fucking me up. But yeah, all this tells me, because I feel like once we flip it again and we do our mock draft 4.0, there's going to be a lot of differences in that. Like, judging by this, the draft I think really starts at y'all at 12. I'm gonna be glued in to this draft.
See, but I'm telling you, I think the party gets started. I think the party gets started if it holds to what we're doing right now. The party, quote unquote, I guess gets started at 3, because if they do draft Abdul Carter, then y'all get Shador. That would be, if Shador or Travis Hunter were on the board, like that'd be a little crazy. And then like it would be crazy.
Yeah. In terms of that, you got to realize, bro, I'm so taken in this Russell Wilson news. It hasn't fully hit me yet that we have Russell Wilson, and it just tells me that the Browns are going Shador. So for now, I'm just assuming the Browns are going Shador because they know something we don't know, to be honest.
Right.
So
right, yeah, and I mean, again, unless y'all got the best hating ass media reporters leaking all kinds of crazy shit.
We could get a slight CJ Stroud, I guess, but like I'm just going to temper my expectations.
Yeah,
and this is, I think, to me, it really starts at 5, because if it goes Cam 1, Shador 2, then it's either Travis 3, Abdul 4, vice versa, and then it's all about what the Jags do. And if
yeah, and I mean, at that point, I really don't rule out Genty. Like I really don't rule out Genty earlier than people think. Now I don't think Genty
at 4.
Yeah, like I would have a hard time Genty going before Travis, but like I think that would be nuts. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen, but like that would be nuts too if that was how Travis Hunter fell to 4.
yeah, that would be crazy. With Genty, like if Genty did go at 4, they must be super optimistic about Stephon Diggs, I guess, because
I mean, I think it's just one of those things where
because you're passing up a pass catcher for a back, and Ramondre is pretty good for you, but Ramondre, he's not really he's not on really the same like timeline as a Drake May,
right.
So I'm not sure if that stops them
together. Like actually,
right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then they know going into next year, all right, we need to get a solid pass catcher, and we need to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the offensive line. If nobody that they have it develops into anything.
Right, because they still drafted Jalen Polk in the 2nd. So, hopefully he could step up.
Yeah, the New England's got an interesting dynamic. I'm definitely going to be interested in what they do. 4, 5, and 6 could be a little crazy. 4, 5, 6, and 7 even. I'll go that far to say, because I can see Tyler Warren going to 7.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a destination for him. I think if he doesn't go at 7, he falls a little bit. Maybe the Colts trade up, or he just falls, or the Colts just let it fall and he goes there. Because if he doesn't go 7, I don't see any of these other teams really going after him. Bears got Cole Kmet. They just re-signed Juwan Johnson. They got the Taysom Hill experience there. I'm pretty high on Jartavius Sanders. I think the Panthers would be foolish if they went tight end. I mean, actually, Panthers, Tyler Warren.
I get it, bro. I want them guys to go where it ain't chaotic, yo. Like, is it be their fault? Everyone trying to put it on them.
Hey, the owner fell back a little bit. He was seeing the smoke, and he kind of, we haven't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah. So right. Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting, and we'll do some more as we gather more intel and more news comes out for us to believe and not to believe.
Yeah, Lion season, like Austin said. That's it for that. Matter of fact, like and subscribe. Be here for the next one. And like I said, we're going to react to our last year's mock draft. You can see how we were feeling. Got a couple picks right. You'll see which ones.
Yeah, sure.